then I went up there, I grabbed the mic. I was like, I'm not
gonna hold on. You Kanye the situation?
Man, I had to, man, because sometimes I get really passionate, man. And I was just like, man, I gotta go for it, man.
Shit happens, it just so happens that I'm with the shits. Your mans with talking bands, it's more like a paper clip. Crush a mic, whoop a iron grip. Arca me these claw in, all they jump shield.
Hey yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Flip, man, coming back, man. It's been a minute. I've been gone for a little while, man, but I got a very special guest that I'm going to be interviewing today. I got my man's, last countdown we did, he was #1 on there. He did the Timeless Trilogy. My man's did Force of Nature that just dropped January the 1st. And then just recently, a couple weeks ago, he dropped Force of Nature Volume 2. And in between that, what was that other album that you did? I think it was Somebody Gonna Lose the Crown. Yo, all fire material, man. This brother like really got his head screwed on tight, man. This is a brother. This is our first time meet, man. It's dope to meet you, man. My man's Michael X, MC No Face, man. So, what's good with you, man? How you been, man? How you feeling, man? Like, what you got going on right now, man?
Man, I can't complain, man. Everything's good, moving in the right direction. As far as what I have up and coming, man, just constantly looking to push the fold. So I'm working on a new project, working on some new visuals. So really excited about that.
Okay. And Mike has done a real great job, man. He's being more visible, definitely, showing more of himself. And I kind of like the mystique that you have too, man. I think that's dope. Like even like just meeting you, you seem like genuine to who you are, even like who you portray yourself to be, in your music, man. So it's really dope to meet you, man. I kind of wanted to get, just kind of start from the beginning a little bit, man. I've listened to a lot of your albums now, man. This brother puts out when he puts out like a prequel or a sequel or whatever. When he puts out a body of work, it's not just like one album, man. It's like my man's come with, a lot of. He'll have like a collective. I look at your albums more like a collection. You know what I'm saying? Like the Timeless album, like it was very cohesive. All three went together, but they sounded so different sonically. Producers are fire too, man. Let me shout out. What's your producer's name?
Well, recently I've been working with Absolute. I was working with Jay Breeze on the Timeless series. Now I was working with EQ on the Somebody Gonna Lose the Crown project. So
Okay.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, man. Like, how before we get into it, I'm just kind of curious about that. How were you able to find like these three different producers that have, produced like three different series that you put out, and all of them. Well, Somebody Gonna Lose the Crown was in the series. Maybe just not now. I mean, I don't know. You might jump back into that. Man. Who knows what you're gonna do with that? But how were you able to find like three, different producers that have a distinct sound that sounds like Michael X.
Um, I would say it happened in stages.
Okay.
Like each series kind of represents a certain stage of my life and where I was at and things I was experiencing
Right.
around those times.
Okay.
And so at Timeless, with the whole Timeless series, I did that all in my bedroom, and I would just record the tracks and then send them off to Jay Breeze, and he would mix and master them.
Okay.
It worked for my budget. It worked for my circumstances at the time.
Right.
But then when I wanted to do Somebody Gonna Lose a Crown, that's when I started working with EQ. We already had a previous relationship.
Right.
And so I wanted to have that studio quality effect. And I like experiment with different producers too because they have different sounds, they have different contributions that they can add to a project.
Right.
And so that's what led me to Absolute.
Okay. Cool. So just kind of, just going back in reverse a couple years, man, just kind of getting back to like your, like just growing up and your influences and how you developed your sound, man. What would you say? I mean, I guess just being a kid, like what type of influences did you have? Was it like a parental thing? Was it like your, like most black people do on weekends, everybody wake up, turn the music up loud and clean up, you know what it is on Saturday, but how did you get your what shaped you into like where you are musically right now?
Um, I would say it was it was a multitude of factors. My first favorite rapper that my father actually introduced me to was Tupac.
Okay.
So I remember having an iPod Nano and listening and having Me Against the World, and just listening to that kind of just set my basis on what an artist or a rapper should be, as far as for their approach, their content.
Right.
And then from there on, I started listening to different types of rappers, of influences. I started listening to music differently. I started paying more attention to what they were saying, to the beats they were using, just really studying the greats, adopting their traits, a part of the game plan.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's really a lot of different factors. But I would say my household is definitely one that influenced me a lot. Like my great grandfather, he he basically he not my great grandfather, my grandfather, he was a civil rights activist. And so I used to go to his house on the weekends. He used to always give me books, and I used to always hear about stories about Fannie Lou Hamer,
Right.
about how he used to work with Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
And those types of things stuck with me as I grew up,
Right.
and they helped add to the person that I was, or was becoming. So just listening to different types of music, different types of artists, they all help influence the type of impact that I wanted to have.
Right. And listening, man, Tupac is that's pretty heavy, man. I when I was younger, man, listening to Tupac, he had a lot of political messages, not only that he put out, musically, but I mean, he was on, he used his platform and the attention that he was getting to speak on like a lot of the black injustices, a lot of the same things that we're experiencing today. Uh, when did that message start to? When did you start receiving that message? Because I mean, we used to just listen to Tupac just because it was catchy. Like man, he was cool. Everybody gravitated towards Tupac. But like I really didn't start getting the messages until later on. Like when did those messages really start to I guess resonate with you?
Um, I want to say they always resonated with me because it was like it kind of reflected what I was hearing at home.
Right.
Um, and then as I grew older, I first was just really can I curse on here? I first was really just kind of like just bullshitting with my rap and just rapping about anything and everything.
Right. Right.
Um, but then as the skill matured for me, it became like, what's my intentions behind it? What's my purpose behind doing it? Because there's a lot of rappers out there. Like there's a lot of people who do that. Um, but it's like, what makes you different from them?
Right. Right.
In a place where everybody's different. So it's like,
Right.
I just I just wanted to continue like pushing myself and pushing the envelope, um,
Right.
and then taking those influences and trying to be that to the next generation, but my own version of it.
Right. 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 So like I guess so it sounds like Tupac was very impactful on you as a youth. A lot of your grandfathers, um, I guess a lot of the knowledge that he was able to profess to you, it seemed like it had an impact on you as well. So when just moving from that and just getting your foundation and like and just kind of becoming because as you're a child we don't even know who we're going to grow to be or what's going to influence us or what type of man we want to be like so just as a child like you know I guess okay just moving into your music right so taking those influences that you had when did you start writing music and start getting into like trying to develop your sound and everything like that.
Um, I would say I was young, like around 10 or 11. I used to have a journal that I used to just write in. And
Right.
at first, it started with, I guess, poetry slash rap.
Right.
But um, I always still had like a rap undertone to it.
Right. Right.
So it's like I was always being pushed towards this.
Right.
And then I just started studying the greats and their impact. I started seeing how,
The greats like who which greats?
like for instance, like the Wu Tangs, the
No,
Jay Z's, the
yeah.
Outkast.
Right.
Because I would see like a piece of myself in them or a piece
Right.
of them in me,
Right.
and it would make me want to understand them more.
Right.
I want to see like how were they able to use their gifts and their talents to get to where they're at.
Right.
Like
right.
what? Like, how are they able to do that?
Right. Right.
And so, just studying them, and then realizing that that at the same time I don't want to take away from them or copy them. I want to be original. I want to be me.
Right. Right. Right.
And so, it's kind of like just seeing how comfortable they are with being themselves made me be more comfortable with being myself.
Right.
So
how, as a 10-year-old, like we don't really have, I say, our full confidence, especially like once we start getting into our spirituality, you get you emboldened by the God that you believe in, but as a 10-year-old, man, what gave you like the courage to kind of just step out there? Like, were you doing talent shows? Like, were you, spill your poetry to your mom or anything at the crib? Like, how did you really get into performing from starting to write at 10 years old?
Oh man, it was a whole process, man. It was like I remember I used to read. I had a couple girlfriends or whatever at the time, so I used to read my stuff to them, but they used to always tell me, it was good,
Right,
this, that, and the third.
Right.
And so it progressed into me buying my own microphone. I remember I can't remember the name. I think it was Minecraft or Mixcraft at the time. I used to record on that in my room and just listen back to it. And then over time, it just got better.
Right.
I just got better. I just kept going with it. So really, man, it's been like 10 years in the making.
Okay.
And so
from 10 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like from 10 to now.
Uh-huh.
And then when I actually went off to school, that's when I started exploring it more. That's why I started actually getting people to, because they saw me believe in me, they gravitated towards that.
Right.
And so it's like I was able to build relationships and coalitions with people just off the strength of just like me being able to go for it.
Okay, what school did you go to?
I graduated from North Carolina State University.
Shout out HBCU. Shout out to the HBCU.
Across the world.
Across the world.
Yeah.
That's a fact, man. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. I didn't know that. So that's interesting, man. But you a smart brother, man. I'm not surprised by that. You know what I'm saying? So like in college, while you were there, like what type of like did you build a presence while you were out there? Like, did you meet any producers, like people that you worked with later on? Like, what type of foundation did college help build? While you were there.
Man, I just got the opportunity to interact with a lot of people from different backgrounds. It was basically a think tank. Everybody may not knew what they were there for, but some people knew and some people didn't. And yeah, and it gave me the opportunity to just run into different people who were there, who were at different stages of their artistry, and so I was able to learn from them. But not everybody was like that either. It was some people who were just funny acting, or who would be, just do their own thing, and that's fine. They can do that because in the day it's all about development.
Right.
And so, like my first ever rap, man, my first ever performance, man, I remember I fucked up on it.
Where was your first performance at?
It was at the amphitheater at NCCU.
Okay.
And I went up there. I was like, Ali intelligente turn days into nights, Father time to lights, and still in time of life. But like I stumbled on a couple words. And I could see it in the crowd that I stumbled. Like I could see their reactions. So I went to the back. I was like, okay. A couple more artists went up there. And then I went up there, I grabbed the mic. I was like, I'm not gonna
hold on. You Kanye the situation?
I had to, man, because sometimes I get really passionate, man. And I was just like, man, I gotta go for it, man.
They're gonna be scared to invite you to the Grammys, my guy. You don't get your Grammys, bro.
But nah, man, like shout out to my man Ham. He used to set up those events, man. He was very he was a great motivational person to me at the time.
Right.
So yeah, I told him I wanted to go again. I went up there, got the mic. I was like, I beg your pardon, battle harder than the hell's garden. Demons in my semen, take your girl and spawn the army. And then the whole crowd just sit there like, and they jaws drop.
Right.
And they were,
we just gonna get right back to it. Like we just started, man. No, we gonna get right back to their jaws drop or whatever.
Yeah, and their jaws drop.
Right.
And And yeah, man, I just went to the back, and that felt great. That was like the best feeling ever because I really used to be. That really was. I really used to be nervous to me.
Right, right,
Just
right.
getting up there and doing something like that in front of all those people when I never did it before.
Right, right.
So yeah, man, that was a beautiful moment. That was a defining moment.
Right, your boy had a Eminem.
Had some old dirty
Everybody in
bastard shit going
313,
on.
right? So ODB, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Man.
man, that's what's up, bro. Like, I mean, like, you know, if you ever do you a biopic or something like that, they could be like, yo, he lying, yo, he ain't do that. I'm like, nah, my man, somebody did that, man.
Actually, I got witnesses for it, man.
Right.
Yeah, man, it was a dope moment.
Right, right. That's what's up, man. So like what did you learn from that and like how did you grow from that and like how did that propel you into like the next step, I guess like performing more and stuff like that.
Um, I learned not to overthink things.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times people create situations in their head where it's like really just go out there and go do it.
Right.
And step out your comfort zone. You'd be surprised a lot of times.
Right.
And then that helped me build that confidence and that wherewithal to pull from Wolf doing future performances. It helped me build more comfortability when going out there. Um, and and yeah, so it brought me here.
Okay, bad. So all right, obviously from there, you know, because I mean, since I've known you, you already done like what 3, 4, 5, 6. I've known you in the span of you doing 6 albums already. So like, but when did you like create your first album and like what was your whole mindset going into that? Like how did you take everything that you learned from your grandfather, watching the greats like, the Wu-Tang, Outkast and Jay-Z, and how did you like decide that, I guess whatever your content was on your first album, how did you, get to that point and how did you feel, after, what I'm saying, like after you released it, were you satisfied? Like were you proud of it? Was it something that you felt like you could have done better at? Like, kind of give us an idea of like what your first, album, putting that together and everything was like.
It was a dope experience, man. Because at the time I had my own crew called Ballad Before Dope, and we all connected for a common cause.
Right, right.
We had people from different walks of life
Right.
who were part of it, and it was really.
So what vibe was it like? Was it kind of like what was the name of the group? Take me to another place. Was it kind of like that?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like that because we had like
I think it's Arrested Development if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the name of the group, something like that.
Yeah, because we had just basically different types of people within the group, so it really was a collective of different sounds.
Right.
And the goal was to be able to like encompass everybody.
Right.
So we had the people with the Gullah background, the people with the college background, the goofy people, the ones for the girls.
Right.
And so really it was a little song for everybody in there.
Okay.
But like to be honest with you, bro, I really just started liking my own music, man. Like within the past couple of years, like I would like it, but the flow wasn't there.
Okay.
Me getting my flow right is the most important thing as far as for having that marketability to it.
Right.
Because like, I can like what I'm saying, but if it don't sound good, it don't sound good.
Right.
So yeah, just me developing my flow, which really only happened within the last couple of years.
Okay, so the first time you heard your voice on the album and everything, how did you feel about it? Did you feel like you had a lot of potential? Did you feel like did you like, what you put out or did you like I know it was a collective of you guys, so like how like what was your final, I guess, conclusion or thought on, how you performed on the album? And how did that propel you to the next step, which would I guess potentially be you doing your own album, without the group,
I definitely knew something was there.
Right.
Because it was something that I was doing before I even ran into them.
Right.
And then the fact that I was able to get these strangers to believe in this idea that I was spearheading, it made me feel like, what else can I do?
Right. Right.
So when I first heard my voice on it, I was like, okay, it's some work there that needs to be done. Like I can hear the potential. I can hear what it can be. I know what it can be.
Right.
But it's just not there yet. And so it was like trying to get reality to catch up with what I hear in my head.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at with it now. So Really, man, I just been chasing synchronicity, man. Like just trying to get everything aligned up. Cause that's probably been my biggest adversary is things not being in place when I think they're supposed to be.
Right, right.
But
So just working on your patience
oh yeah,
and maintaining your peace and and
yeah,
just keep working. Because I mean, my man's is working, man. I remember when he put out the whole Timeless joint. I think you done like 3 albums in like 4 months. Like what kind of gives you that drive to like to put out complete bodies of work and to make sure that they're cohesive and like you got a good ear for music, man. Like your producers, they fire, man. Like shout out to all of y'all, EQ and the other two guys that you mentioned. But like I guess what kind of motivates you to I guess like work so hard,
um, man, I just got a goal in my head, man, and I used to always get told that if you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. And so I just want to do my part in making stuff happen.
man? Right.
Because I do believe that if you work towards something, it's gonna work towards you.
Okay.
Um, and then I'm passionate about what I do too. So it's not like a job. Like
Right.
I get tired of it, but
Right.
I don't get tired of it in the sense of where I don't ever want to come back to it.
Right. Right.
It's more so I can just have to give my brain a break to come back to it so that way I can create some more. But yeah, that and then listen to the greats, man. So like it just comes out of me. Like it's just what I love to do.
Right. Yeah, man. So man, it's very interesting, man. Like your sound, I really enjoy the bars, man. Like, especially with having those type of influences, the greats that you mentioned. Like what is your feeling on like making sure that those bars are there? Because not only are you spitting bars, but you got a message that's, all intertwined into making your music, man. Like how are you like what is your whole mind process going into these? Because I know like I've kind of got a sense of who you are through your music. You know what I'm saying? Like I could tell that you kind of figured yourself out. At a young age. I mean, my man's what 26,
Yeah.
26 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? And like just through the conversations and stuff that we've had over these past couple of years, man. You kind of ahead of yourself, man. You really
Appreciate that, bro.
yeah. Like what? How are you coming up with these concepts and like what do they mean to you?
Well, I try to think about the type of impact, type of impact or the way something's gonna be received.
Right.
Um, and then really they all come from the different things that I feel like somebody will lose a crown to something being timeless to being the force of nature. Like those are all just ways to describe ways to describe myself and ways to describe the impact that I want to have on the universe.
Right.
Um, and so yeah, I think that's the best way I can describe that.
Okay, cool. And now I see, you doing a lot of shows and stuff. I think, COVID kind of shut everything down for everybody a little bit, man. But I see, you performing, even the video that you had on the Boom Bap Top 5 Countdown that was #1. Y'all go check out episode
Check
3.
it
My
out.
man's was on there. Uh, how did you take okay because most everything's behind the scenes, right? I mean you can do all the recording, you can do all your networking, meeting producers and stuff. Like what was that transition like for you moving from behind the camera? Because I know you said at one point in time in your life you used to be kind of shy, and even having your first performance, maybe the stress of the crowd screaming and everything kind of got to you. How have you been able to transition from behind the camera and everything being done off camera to now being on camera and having a whole lot more light shed on you?
Man, just God confidence, man. Just having that belief.
Right.
I would say that's probably the biggest thing. Is just stepping outside my comfort zone from growing as an individual. Um, yeah, I would say that's probably what helped me the most.
And it has so it sounds like you do got a mystique about you, man. How have you been able to transition into like social media and like being more visible and everything? Because I remember one time us having a conversation. I was like, Mike, we need to see more of you, man. Like
Yeah.
you got some great music out right now, man. Like like how have you been able to transition, especially like having a certain type of conscience too, like where you see a lot of crazy stuff going on, and you know how has that been for you? Has it been difficult, or is it something that you starting to like understand and kind of trying to take advantage of now?
Um, it's really like it's a process. I'm still making that transition,
Yeah,
you know. Cause really, man, I'm kind of like I don't really like fuck with people like that,
yeah,
you know. So I like just like I do, but I don't,
right,
you know.
right,
So it's more so a thing of just getting more comfortable with it. I'm still trying to master the whole social media thing, but I know that will come with time.
right,
And and hopefully this right here would be the start of you guys seeing a whole lot more of me because
right,
I want to do that more. I know it's important.
right. And my man, you know, he's a businessman too. You know, he's got his own merch on. You know,
Sure.
that kind of man, showing the merch, man. You know what I'm saying?
More to come. Timeless apparel
Right. That's
out now.
right, right. So I mean, my man's got many different designs, man. We ain't even I don't think we even went through all your designs yet, yo.
Yo,
Mike, your sister. Plug your sister, man. Like your sister does your art for you, right? Is that
yeah. Shout out to Aquiel. She's done my artwork for all of my merch. She's amazing. She's also interior. She's also in school right now for interior architecture design. My
okay?
man said it backwards, but she'll be building a house near you or designing a house near you. So
Okay, that's fire. Okay, man. Shout out to the young black queen out there.
yeah.
Get your coins, you know what I'm saying? Get your money, get your bag, you know what I'm saying? But just real quick, man, before we wrap up and everything, man, what do you have coming next, man? You already have Force of Nature Volume 2 just dropped not too long ago, but I know you working, man. So, you know, what you got next for your fans and everything,
Man, right now I'm working on some new visuals. Like I said, I'm working on a project. And the visuals gonna be crazy. Just want to continue pushing the mold, doing better for the people who are listening. I appreciate every click, every play, every reshare, every stream. I appreciate all of that. Thank you, and we're gonna constantly keep it moving.
man? And what's your social media handle?
You can follow me on Instagram at living_villain, at Twitter, Dynasty of X, and has all my links there in the bio. Check them out. Free to share them with the peoples.
All right. Well, man, it's been a pleasure, man. It's really good to finally meet you, bro. For real, man. It's like I'm a little older, so this like my little brother, but it ain't no little brother stuff. I respect you equally as a man, but you know what I'm saying. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed this interview, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow the Boom Bap Music Channel. We got so much more coming. We're gonna start off with my man's though this interview here, man. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Go to IG, BBMC or Boom Bap Music Channel. Y'all make sure y'all hit that follow. Make sure y'all follow my man's too. And we're gonna holler at y'all, man. It's your boy Flip.
My campaign want the long term, not just the champagne pop to the top of this monopoly game. Big money sentence, my chain hang like a third appendage. Y'all boys regular, we different. Intention being mentioned with the breaks, a real stepper. That she think you